Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on my Minecraft Survival Let's Play world, where we're back where we finished off in the previous episode where we built the interior of this gorgeous building over here. And I have to say it came out very nicely. If we actually just head on inside over here and close these doors behind us, you can see what we've gone ahead and created, and I think it looks absolutely spectacular and I'm super happy with the result. It's actually probably the best interior I've created here on my survival world. In today's episode, actually, we're going to be taking a little break from building interiors altogether and move on to something a little bit more exciting because we have no interiors left to build. In fact, in today's episode, we are going to be leaving this whole building altogether and move out onto this landscape over here so that we can continue building our little village that we're creating. And what I've got planned for this video is going to intrigue you guys and it's going to come out spectacularly. In fact, I'm thinking about building a brand new build altogether down here in this little region just by the river, and I think it's going to turn out amazing. So in today's episode, we're going to have a bunch of terraforming building all in the form of time lapses, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy that. But without further ado, let's just do a quick rundown of what we're going to go ahead and create. So the plan for today's episode is going to start off with some terraforming, and what I plan to do is lift this entire landscape up here a few blocks so that this river looks like it's running through a valley, and I think that's going to end up looking quite cool. We can even decorate the bottom of this river over here and make it look a little different. I think that's going to give this place a little bit more life. And basically that's going to create a nice valley which we can actually run a bridge over, and I think that's going to be pretty cool so that we can connect this hill over here up with this piece of land, and I think that is going to give us some more land to work with. And then on top of this hill or piece of land over here, I'm thinking we should actually build our next building. And what I have planned for this area over here is actually building some sort of tower. Maybe we might even do 2 towers depending on how long we have in today's episode. But I'm thinking that will look pretty cool. Of course, we need to terraform it first, make it all flat and nice. But I think that's going to be really cool and it'll help differentiate between the buildings in this area. And then if we have time after building all of that, we might even come down here and do a bit more terraforming, build some more custom trees and extend this path all the way so that it connects up to that bridge and that tower over there. And I think what we're going to end up with is going to be amazing. But you know what they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, so we might as well get straight on to building this so that we can get this done as soon as possible. Alright, the first thing on my agenda is to grab all my materials so that we can start building up this landscape over here. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and grab all my materials, and then I'll see you guys back here in a matter of mere seconds. Alrighty, so I've got my ender chest now, which is full to the brim of my shulker boxes, which have loads upon loads of materials to help me build up this landscape over here. But before we get into a time lapse in today's episode, I actually want to go ahead and build this landscape over here first by myself, just in a little off camera moment there, and just kind of prep this landscape so that it's all ready for our build, and that way you guys won't get bored of me making this landscape up over here. And then once you've of course finished doing that, I can go ahead and show you guys around this landscape what I've gone ahead and done, and then we can jump straight into a time lapse of that tower build that we're going to create upon this piece of land over there. So I might as well go ahead and begin. So I'm going to start pulling out my shulker boxes, and I'll see you guys in a short while once I've gone ahead and prepped this landscape over here. And voila, just like that, I've gone ahead and finished up the landscape, and it looks pretty nice, actually pretty cool. We've gone ahead and made this river run through a valley over here, and I've gone ahead and made what I really wanted to create, and I think I've gone ahead and done it perfectly. So I think this looks pretty nice. You've got a little valley kind of section over here using some coarse dirt and some normal dirt just to make it look a little rough at the bottom. We've also mixed in some stones here and there just to add a bit of variety, and I think it looks quite nice. It actually fits this area quite well, and even if you take a step back and fly away from here, you can see it also seems natural. It fits the landscape, so it looks pretty nice. And we've also gone ahead and excavated this huge hill that once stood here and made it a little flatter so that we have a nice area to work with for our towers. And overall, I think this came out perfectly, everything I wanted to do. Even though it's not like a whole lot of terraforming, I think it still did the job. Anyway, without further ado, I think we should get straight into building. So what I intend to do is continue that path from that build over there all the way down here, down this landscape, and then connect it up to this area over here, where I then intend to build a bridge connecting this side over here to that piece of land over there. And I think it will look quite nice. Even though this is only about 5 or 6 blocks long, I think it's still going to be quite a nice little bridge. Even if you're gonna go through this river down here with a boat, I think it'll be quite nice to look up at. And then once you can cross over easily using that bridge, we're gonna go ahead and start creating the towers over here. And what I intend to do is have a tower over here on this little upper part of land, and then one tower down here as well, just so that we have a little bit of height differentiation and so that it looks kind of like a castle gateway. And I think that'll be quite a nice idea, especially since I want to have a castle in this area over here in the near future. However, that's talk for another time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start working on this area over here and start building up the towers and the bridge. And I think it's going to turn out spectacularly. And I think now is the time to start today's time lapse, so I hope you all are going to enjoy this one, and I'll see you guys in a short while. So let's hit it. And there we go, just like that, we've gone ahead and finished up the time lapse for today's episode, and I'm super happy with the result. We've gone ahead and finished up these two beautiful looking towers over here, and I have to be honest with you guys, I absolutely love them. The block palette and everything else just works so well with the environment and our pre-existing build over here that it just looks too good to be true. Like, it's honestly the best tower build I've created, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. And to be fair, that's what I'm trying to achieve in this area over here. Build all the buildings to my greatest potential so that this little town slash city that we're making will look amazing. But before I continue to ramble on, let's go ahead and do a tour of what we've gone ahead and created. So as you can see here, we've kind of got an abrupt stop to this pathway because I was running out of time and we really need to get this video out to you guys. But basically, I'll continue these pathways later on, but I think we've gone ahead and continue with the normal pattern, and I think it's honestly just good as is. So we've got a nice pathway that's rolling down this landscape over here, and it's actually kind of random in its path, and I think that looks, quite nice. It makes it feel a lot more natural. So basically, you've got this pathway running down this hillside over here, going down with some slabs, and I think it's quite nice. Then we've got a little bridge that I actually mentioned that I was going to build before over this valley, and I think it looks perfect. If you actually paid attention in the time lapse, I built this bridge twice because the first time I wasn't really happy with the result, but now that I've created it the second time, you can see it looks quite nice, and I'm very happy with how it looks. So you've got this beautiful bridge over here that just goes over this valley that we created earlier. And then once you go ahead and turn around, you've got the two beautiful towers that we created in the time lapse. And I have to say, they look magnificent, even though I've said it probably about 2 or 3 times already. They're just so good. Basically, what I've gone ahead and done is used a block palette going from darker to lighter, and then the lightest color being some sort of stone there. And I think it's worked out perfectly, sorry. And basically, you get this darker tone over here with a nice gradient slowly working its way up into some terracotta, then some acacia wood, which kind of looks like a lighter version of stone. Then you got the stone, and then the stone bricks. And I think it works really well actually. And then you've gone ahead and mixed in some spruce wood over there, which works pretty well with the stone there. And then for the roof color, I've gone ahead and used some brown mushroom blocks and some light gray terracotta with some granite. And I think it works perfectly. And basically I've copied that same build palette on this tower over here, and I think it works perfectly as well. But as you start following it up, you may have noticed I added some differences in here as well. Basically I mixed in some smooth stone in here as well with some andesite just to make it feel a little different. And then on the roof as well, I added in some jutting out windows, and I think it looks quite nice. And you can also see I was very creative with the roof style. On this one over here, I used some granite walls just to make it feel a lot smoother. And then on this one, you can see I didn't use any granite walls instead. But with the tip, I made a very nice looking tip, and I think it looks quite cool. Whereas on this one, I just used a granite wall, a fence, and then an iron bar. But it still looks quite nice actually. And then to connect these two builds up over here, you can see I've gone ahead and created a little bridge between them, and I think it looks really cool. I've gone ahead and mixed in the same types of blocks just to kind of follow the block palette, and you can see the arch actually looks quite nice as well. It's a bit lower on this side but a bit higher on that side, but it makes it feel a little bit more realistic. And I've gone ahead and add some cracked stone bricks as well just to make it feel a little weathered. And then I've also hanged off some fences and some iron bars off the edge of this, so it looks like a little rope that's been thrown off the side of the bridge. But I think it looks quite cool. In fact, we can take a little closer look at it if we just build up with some scaffolding here and see what I've gone ahead and done to create this bridge. So one thing I actually love about this bridge over here is how it feels a bit weathered and old. So if you actually pay attention, you can see that these railings are kind of damaged. In some areas they're jutting out, in some areas they aren't, and in some areas they're missing altogether. For example, like over here, there's no railing which we could have put in, and over here, for example. And I like it like that, to be honest. It makes it feel a little bit more weathered and old, and it fits the theme that these towers fit. But one thing I forgot to do while I was up here before though was add in some doors, one over here and one over here. But I'll go ahead and do that later so you guys don't have to watch me do a bunch more building. And I also have to replace that acacia log with some acacia wood so that that little orange spot there doesn't look too ugly. But yeah, you can also see I've gone ahead and added in some windows, and those work quite nicely in this area as well. Anyway, with that bridge being covered now, it's pretty much all done. There's only a few more things that I need to explain to you guys, but I'm gonna go ahead and sleep before I do that. Alright, so basically what's left with this build over here is pretty simple, and you guys are going to find pretty boring, but I'll go ahead and cover them anyway. So we've got the pathway that continues underneath this bridge over here, and we've got a few entrances to our places, our little towers. So on this side, you've got a little normal door with a stair just to give it a bit of lining. And then I've gone ahead and actually mixed in some buttons and some pressure plates just to feel like stones over here. And then you can actually use this as a functional purpose just to enter our build. And you can see I've temporarily placed a bed in here, but I haven't made any interior yet because this video is getting way too long and I can just save that for another episode. But if we leave this tower over here, we can actually take a look at this tower as well, and there seems to be an enderman in here. Yeah, we can kind of see the edge of him and the particles coming out. But if we actually just take a look inside, hopefully there's no other monsters. Yeah, there isn't. He seems to be moving a lot of blocks around, actually. That is pretty annoying. I'm just gonna put this block back here. But basically, you can see this interior is also quite empty, but we'll work on that on another episode. Okay, anyway, we can just leave this build over here. Out of my way, Enderman. And for the entrance, you can see it's pretty simple. We just added a little staircase with some railings and a little kind of, thing on top of it. I can't English at the moment, but there's some sort of like canopy thing over it, which I think looks quite nice. And then on the side of the build, I wanted to add a little bit more interest, so I've added some vines creeping up the side. I was actually thinking of adding another kind of tower bit, jutting out of this section over here, but that'd be way too much work just for like a little castle entrance thing. So I think, some vines do pretty well just for placing a few blocks. But one thing I've noticed that I definitely forgot to do was actually place down some string to prevent these vines from going too long, because as you can see here, vines from the top have basically already reached the bottom, which is quite alarming actually because they're going super fast. So I'm going to go ahead and place some string down here to prevent their growth in a little while now off camera. Yeah, so basically I'm going to go ahead and pretty much do the boring stuff all later off camera so you guys don't have to witness it. And then if you come around here, you can also see that this wall is also very plain. And I've kind of left that there purposefully because I don't actually know what I'm going to do with this back section over here. If I'm going to run a path around this side and need to, decorate this back wall over here, or have, some trees in front of it and not need to decorate that back wall. It depends on what I end up doing in this area, but one thing is for sure, I'm planning to have a castle with a similar style as this tower over here in the future in this area, and I think it would actually fit really nicely into this little forest biome. And actually flying back, this tower area looks really, really cool. I'm very satisfied with the result, and I hope you guys are as well. But unfortunately though, today's episode is going to have to come to an end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. I was really satisfied with the result we came up here making these two buildings, and we can go ahead and make the interiors for them at a later date. But I'm going to have to sign off now, so I'll see you all very, very soon in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed this one. Anyways, without further ado, I'll see you all next time. Bye.